Hello there, my name is PlantusMC, and welcome back to another mod review. And this mod review is going to be on the Mob Guns mod. This is my first 1.7.10 review. I had a great time trying to get Forge open, and by great I mean awful. And so what this mod adds is, basically adds these guns here that will shoot mobs out of them. And it's really funny. There are 18 of these cannons. There are also 5 YouTuber cannons I'm going to look at later. Not telling you who's in there yet. But, what? So, basically, each of them is crafted like this. See the recipe on the screen. There's this one special item in the center that's different for each mob. Like, for chicken it'd be the feather, but everything else is the same. And the ammo is always the center ingredient. So, like, a chicken would need feathers. The gun was crafted with a book. It would need books to fire. So, yeah. These are fairly expensive, but they're definitely worth it, except for a few of them. Like, I would not consider this chicken gun worth it at all. And I'm going to be creative for this, actually, just so that I don't have to get ammo. Because a lot of ammo would be needed to really test this well, so just going into survival to debuff myself from some effects I put on earlier. I was testing with how to make potions. Like, not that, I already know how to use a brewing stand, but like how to summon potions with commands. Because it's going to be needed for one of the guns in this mod. It's just that powerful. Now I've got a ton of iron golems here. And so the chicken gun is the first gun. It uses feathers. It does only 2 damage when you shoot it. And these projectiles are not affected by gravity, but still, 2 damage, that's kind of lame considering how much you spent on it. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's 3 diamonds and an emerald going into this thing. Yeah, let me just check. Yep, 3 diamonds, an emerald, and 4 iron. So, I would not recommend making this gun. However, if you actually hit a mob with the gun, it will deal 5 damage. So, if you're close up and you're out of ammo, then you can just smack them with the gun. I guess because it's like heavy and stuff, it'd be useful for clubbing people with it. And so, that's the only reason you'd make this. It's a glorified wooden sword that has a little bit of extra power, but now we're on to the pig. Pig requires a raw pork chop. Still pretty weak. And I organized all of these by power level so that we wouldn't have, like, one gun doing over 9,000 damage and then the next gun doing 1 damage. Because I always hate when that happens in mods. And this is 4 damage. And if I allow it to shoot out for a little bit, as you can see, it shoots a baby animal into the air, which is really funny. And also, if it hits the ground or a mob, it makes that little particle effect. Now, that did, I believe, 4 damage. Yep, 4 damage. So, really still not very strong, but nice projectile, and it... Yeah, piggy. I always like when the projectiles are, like, flying mobs, because I'm pretty sure that takes a good amount of work, and it just looks really funny. This also does 4 damage. And so, as you can see, against normal mobs, this might be good. But against something like an iron golem, you're pretty screwed. Sheep surprisingly requires wheat. I would have thought it needed wool, but I guess it does not. So, our next gun is the cow gun. And this is the last of the wheat guns. After this, we're going to be getting into some things that would be pretty useful in a fight against, like, an armored player or a powerful mob or something. So, with this, it deals 5 damage. So, again, pretty weak. And so, 5th cannon on our list is the snowman gun. And, oh, I almost forgot to show the cow. The cow requires the raw beef. The snowman cannon is a bit weird. Thing is, it does not render the snow golem's pumpkin. So, if you've ever seen a snow golem from the inside, that's what this is going to look like. So, players who haven't are going to be like, what? Where's the pumpkin? Why is he smiling? But if this is as powerful as I remember, yeah, that does 7 damage. And at the price of a snowball every shot, considering snowballs deal no damage, pretty good use of snowballs if you have a good snow biome. Just shoot a ton of mobs for 7 damage. That's as powerful as an iron sword. Although you already knew that, I'm sure. And our next gun is the Silverfish gun. And the Silverfish gun is going to require clay. I guess because actually, maybe they spawned in place with clay. I thought they spawned out of stone bricks. I've never really been in an encounter with Silverfish, so I couldn't tell you. But this too deals 7 damage, and I guess the lag is why they aren't being knocked back, but I have damage indicators, so if you can see the little number there, then you're good. This I would assume requires, yep, rotten flesh. And so, the zombie gun. We're at a hostile mob that people would actually consider a bit dangerous now, so still only does 7 damage. I thought a zombie gun would be a bit stronger than that. But now we're getting into the big leagues. And I'm serious this time. The cat gun requires a fish. Yeah. Guess that's why they use clay, because with Silverfish, because cat was already taken with the cat. Iron Golem is 45 health. 10 damage. So you can convert your fish into 10 damage. I know fishing is annoying, but if I could deal 10 damage for every fish I caught, I would use a lot more fish. I would fish a lot more. I would use a lot more fish. What does that even mean? Now, this requires an arrow, because the bone is already taken, as you'll see. And so, shoot it does 10 damage. And it makes this little particle effect. And yep, they're still shooting the mobs. I think it's just not on screen long enough with my lag for it to show anything. But the next gun on our list is the spider gun. Now, the spider gun requires string to craft ants fire, and saw the spider for a little bit there, and it's the red particle effect, and it deals 10 damage on a hit. Now, these things are gradually going to be getting more powerful. So we get to the most powerful one, the creeper. And I set up an iron golem over in another area so that we could actually test the creeper, because yeah, let's just say we should not test it here. You're probably already guessing what it does, but squid deals 11 damage, and I'm just gonna kill it now because we need a new iron golem. So it took that many guns to do that much damage, but I think we're going to have gone through the second golem by the end of the mob guns. The other ones are just that powerful. Don't get too much more powerful than the squid gun, but already for the squid gun, boss killing would be so great with this. It requires an ink sac. Just get a bunch of ink sacs and, like, take out the ender dragon or the wither or something from, like, better dungeons or something like that. Not or spawn, because that's sword farm stuff is OP, but slime, I'm sure you can guess what it requires, but I'm gonna show it anyway. Slime ball. Does 12 damage. It's pretty nice, because it can kill cave spider in one hit. Most mobs will not survive for long with a slime gun. I honestly did not expect the slime to be that powerful, because it's like more powerful than the zombie and skeleton. And the silverfish. So that's pretty awesome. Mushroom gun is made with mushroom stew, and although I really love mushrooms, they're my favorite mob in the entire game, including any mod. I mean, there are some mobs that are just more awesome than the mushroom, but I don't know, the mushroom is the best one. It has some undefinable quality. Now, it deals 13 damage, but the problem with firing this thing is that mushroom stew does not stack. So, and it's hard to get outside of a mushroom biome, so unless you have a mushroom with you, and you have a lot of free inventory space, which I don't on survivals, that's going to take a while. Then it's going to be difficult to fire the mushroom. The blaze pistol requires blaze powder, so the blaze does 15 damage, and unfortunately does not set the mob on fire. But 15 damage is always good. I mean, we're getting to the point where things are as powerful as enchanted bows. But blaze powder is fairly hard to get. Pretty sure you have to get a blaze rod to do it. The ender gun, it requires ender pearls, I'm just going to tell you. And it also deals 15 damage. I think this is better than the blaze gun because it's more efficient. Villager's up next. And fortunately does not actually require emeralds. It requires a book. And that's a bit weird, but I like it because villagers do trade books sometimes, and emeralds would just be way too expensive. There are some very expensive guns, but they deal a lot more damage than this one. So that deals 30 damage. I mean, no, 15. He's down to 30, sorry. And this is the final regular gun, because the creeper has a special effect. It requires only a bone, and it requires bones to fire. And this gun, for just bones, I think it is really overpowered. Personally, I would like it to need a wither skeleton to craft and be fired with bones, because it can deal 16 damage for every bone. And hey, I was almost right. Iron Golem's just about dead. Now he is dead. And I'm going to put this thing back and go over here to show you that other Iron Golem. I didn't actually trap him there, he just stayed there, I guess. He was my first Iron Golem, but he got out. I built the fence after I spawned him in, so Creeper Gun is crafted with, of course, gunpowder. And from the fact that I'm going away from the chests, I'm sure you can guess what it does. Goodbye, Golem. So, by the fact that the stone was unaffected, I think it's as powerful as a creeper explosion. I'll go somewhere else and just hit the ground with it. There's no damage other than the explosion, but still pretty decent. So, yeah, the fact that you basically have a portable TNT cannon. It's less powerful, but you don't have to use those giant contraptions anymore. I can't even build a TNT cannon. I'm kind of a noob at the game, but still. It is annoying to try to build a TNT cannon. And, guys, now we are getting into the most powerful guns. These guns are anything that's not a mob. All but one is a YouTuber. And so, I really like the choice they used here, because all of these guys are fairly destructive, except for, or just generally awesome. So, I really like that this mod, it does not have the guns being the damage on the guns, so you can be surprised for the showcase and when you're using it if you haven't seen a showcase of the mod, and you didn't read the forum post, because all of this information is on the forum, guys. And so, they misspelled Popular MMO's name a bit, but the fact that he's the most powerful guy in the mod, yeah. Personally, AntVenom is a better PvPer, but Popular MMOs is my favorite YouTuber, probably tied with Dan, and he's good at PvP. Dan kind of sucks. So, Steve is the first gun. And by the way, guys, these Iron Golems are going to be dying really fast. So, Steve requires apples, and only an apple to fire. Apples are a little hard to get, but still think it's overpowered for what it does. 20 damage. That's enough to one-shot any ordinary mob. And, yeah, that is OP. This one is a bit less OP. Requires a cake, while I check the crafting recipe for it. So, IS Cupquake is The forum post claims it does 30 damage, but it actually only does 20. And it does that love trail. Ugh. And so, yeah, I would craft the Steve gun, because cakes are hard to get, or more difficult to craft than apples, and they take up so much space. Sunday requires gold ingots. The fact that we're using materials, the stuff's getting pretty powerful. So, he is down to 30. And he no longer has enough health to really show the next gun, so I'm gonna kill him right now. So, next is the Diamond Minecart's gun. And both of the next two guns shoot diamonds, but they have different crafting recipes, so he just requires a diamond, and he needs diamonds to even fire that gun. But it's definitely worth it. Actually, it really depends if it's worth it, because thing is, I may have just killed the Iron Golem, but I used the cost of a diamond sword to do that. I think you should only craft this if you really just want to kill bosses, or you have way too many diamonds on your hands, because it's technically not worth it, but if you want, but this thing could take out an ore spawn mob. It'd still be effective, I think. If you had a ton of diamonds, which you always do in ore spawn, then I think that you should have this. Now, I created the testing potion, and the reason I made this is just because this next weapon is incredibly overpowered. It is so powerful that it can one-shot an Iron Golem and still has plenty of damage remaining, so I'm gonna splash you with this Iron Golem. So now it has 412 health. I tried to make a regeneration potion sorry. I tried to make a regeneration potion in the command block, that's what I meant to say, but for some reason it didn't work out. So the Iron Golem has health boost for over an hour. Unfortunately, he will not be alive for over an hour. Now, as I said, he uses diamonds to shoot, but he requires the dragon egg to craft. That's really expensive because, you know, there's only one of them, but look at this. 200 damage. That is so powerful. Basically, you can throw Dan's gun away if you get this, because they use the same thing, and his gun is that much, it's just like 4 times as powerful. And I believe that none of these use durability. I'm going to test these, though, to make sure. And so, looks like I got hit with the potion and the instant healing healing. Nope, these do not have durability, only ammo. So, I love the Popular MMO's gun. It's awesome. He's awesome, and I think it would be really cool to have this in, again, like an ore spawn setting, because I think that and like Wildcraft are the only mods where this could be even remotely balanced, just because anything else is going to die in like 1 or 2 hits. Maybe it'll survive for 3 if it's really strong, but like Mutant Creature, gone. Better Dungeons, gone. All you need is Popular MMOs and his awesomeness. So, as you can see by the fact that I'm just roaming around, this mod showcase is really done. That's all we set out to cover here. And, well, that's just about it. It's PlantusMC, and I will